Hey, we can. All right, ready? 10 jumping jacks. Ready? 1, 2. Eddie, come on. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We're live, guys. Hey, we're live. Happy Monday, man. Manufacturing Monday motivation. Damon, how are you, brother?
Doing great, Curt. Doing great.
Good. Mariners are like, you're still doing good.
Holy
How about
heck.
the Seahawks? The Seahawks win last night?
No, we're playing tonight.
All right. Mariners are doing great. Forget about football. So,
yeah.
Damon, are you sitting down for this one, dude? Are you?
I know.
All right.
Yes, I am.
Man, I am like, dude, I haven't slept all weekend. I am just so fired up. Eddie Saunders Jr. is in the house. Eddie, how are you, brother?
It is well with my soul. It's a great day to have a great day, and I'm hanging out with some cool dudes. So I don't know what more I'd want besides a cold beverage, but hey, more on that later.
Now, I think, Curt, that is the first time we've ever been called cool dudes. I just got to go there.
Well, just, all right, Eddie, we got to question your judgment of character, but
yes,
it's everything else, Eddie is amazing at everything else. It's a great day to have a great day. So, Eddie, I did a little cyber stalking, awesome. And I noticed that's a great line of yours. Absolutely love it. Hope everyone had an amazing, incredible, wonderful, dynamic weekend, because we are flexing here on Monday. Eddie, let's just dive right in. I'm not even pulling any punches because, like, dude, I'm old and you're like an MMA guy, so I can't go there. But all right, here's the first question of the day. You ready for this one? Are you ready?
Born ready.
Are you ready? You're born ready? Okay. Eddie, dude, MMA, you're like influencer, you're manufacturing, Mascot. Dude, my admiration, respect for you off the charts. As a young man growing up in the great Buckeye state of Ohio, who was your hero? Who was your hero growing up in Ohio?
Man, just any of the great Ohio State football players were just huge heroes to me, specifically Eddie George, for some obvious reasons, right? Not only a great football player, same name as well. And I honestly began liking the Tennessee Titans strictly because of Eddie George. And when they left, couldn't care less about the Tennessee Titans. So Eddie George, just the Buckeye football players, it's such a huge tradition for the respect of just Ohio State University football. And so those are a lot of the big heroes that you kind of look at growing up, if you will. That, and not to be cliche, but my father is just a huge factor in my life. He's worked in manufacturing practically his entire life, and I've been able to watch him work his way up and instill a lot of his work ethic in me. So it's made me respect a lot of the other blue collar workers across our country that make it so great, my man.
Eddie, dude, awesome. Damon, you guys, hang on 1 second. You ready? You ready for this?
There's going to be some big love here. I can tell from
what's happening. I don't know to be concerned.
Ohio State.
All right. So
the Ohio State.
Eddie, OH.
IO!
OH.
IO!
You know what? I got to.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't yell on your show. My bad.
You know what? I should have asked you beforehand, because I have a replica of the shoe sitting, like, it's somewhere in this room, and I can't. And so, dude, I'm a proud alumni of the Ohio State University, 1990. I'm an old dude. I was there when Chris Spielman was playing. That's how old I am. But Eddie George, I was at the Eddie George 300-yard game against Illinois, 1995. Won the Heisman that year. So, Eddie, thank you for going Buckeye on me, dude.
100%, dude. No jokes. So, my wife's a transplant from Colorado, and on my 24th birthday, I rented out the shoe to propose to my wife. And I proposed to my wife in the Block O on my 24th birthday.
Eddie, oh my, Damon, I might get choked up right now. Like, Eddie, I didn't think I could possibly love you anymore. I'm like, I should have worn I would have been head to toe Buckeye if I knew that you were going to be here.
That's awesome.
I'm slipping as well. I had no idea I had a brother in the house, man.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Damon, come on. Ohio State.
You just made my day, dude. For real. That's so funny and ironic, but straight up proposed to my wife, 24th birthday. Pictures are beautiful. So anytime there's ever a home game, as long as the Buckeyes play home games on that field, doesn't matter if they change the turf a million times, I proposed, and she made the biggest mistake of her life by saying yes on that spot.
Nice. Proposed in the shoe. All right. So for anybody out there, Rebecca, good morning. Thank you for joining us, man. Eddie, I'm Nicole, Nicole, what's going on with this conversation? Her BYU Cougars has had a big upset this weekend. Whitney's down in Sugar Land. So thank you, Whitney, for joining us. Guys, anybody out there, drop a note, drop a hello. Eddie, what's Dad's name?
My dad's name, no, my dad and I we have the same exact name. He is Senior, Edward Matthew Saunders Sr. I'm Edward Matthew Saunders Jr.
Okay, well, we're going to be talking about a little bit of Eddie. So, hey, big shout out to your dad for just what a driving force, being your hero, and just I tell you, you're such an inspiration to so many of us on LinkedIn and in the manufacturing space. So, big shout out to Eddie Sr. for what he's done. Big shout out to Eddie George. We might geek out a little bit more. So for anybody out there outside of Ohio, they're like, what are you guys talking about? So Ohio State University football. That's what we're talking about. Eddie, let's take a slide in here. So, dude, you have, first off, connect with Eddie. If you're not connected with Eddie, you want to connect with Eddie here on LinkedIn. He is just a ball of fire, inspiration. You're going to be fired up just by being in his presence. Eddie, Dad's an inspiration to you, was your hero, you're heavy duty, like we're talking about MMA, you're talking about, and you're doing a ton of work as an influencer in manufacturing. Let's start with your athletic background, MMA, and I want to talk about your background there and how that slid into like how that's inspired and helped your career. How did you kick off this athletic career, MMA? Like, let's go there for a minute.
Yeah, for sure, man. Honestly, like whether I liked sports or not, didn't have much of a chance or a say in it. It just turned out to really love it, and it molded me in such a big way. Really gravitated a lot towards football just due to the physicality. I make a joke, but it's obviously serious. It's the first basketball game that I ever officially played in when I was in junior high. I no joke, I fouled out.
Right?
And so that's when I knew I was probably a little too aggressive. A fumble was not the same thing as a drop ball in basketball, and obviously I didn't get the memo. But through that, just loved the idea of the physical challenge, and I've always gravitated towards that which is difficult for me. It's to my detriment sometimes, but it's yielded some awesome life experience, and always fascinated with the MMA, like just the concept of it, just that challenge. And I also happened to grow up down the street from a former world championship kickboxer.
Wow.
And so that's something to where I grew up with his kids. And even though I never made that connection, once I got into my teens, he had kind of gotten in my ear about it. Right. And I still actually talk to him to this day. And he's one of the coaches now in my MMA gym, which is super full circle and really humbling. But when I started when I was 16 years old, because my parents refused to take me, because of course mom's not motivated to take her little boy to fighting classes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had my job, so I was paying for my membership. I got my license and was paying for that. And so I went off and joined that, and it's inspired me in so many ways. And honestly, it's given me the resilience and the grit that I never knew that I had, and it's shown me things about myself that I never knew. And then also it's humbled me because there are a few things in life that will humble you more than a 125-pound man absolutely just ragdolling you. I've had guys who you could fit in your pocket just turn me into an absolute pretzel. And that's another thing that fascinated me, that the size of it, like of who you are, could completely be mitigated out by solid technique and real world application. So the grit, the experience, and I honestly met my wife through one of my friends one of my training partners. And so it's just brought me so many things that my blessings have been, and they're continuing to flow. And as long as the good Lord puts breath in my lungs, I'm going to be teaching, coaching MMA in some way, shape, or form, and hopefully inspiring the next generation.
Nice.
God, dude, you are such
awesome.
This is all right. All right. So, all right. Grit, resiliency, my God, you met your wife. What's your wife's name? Let's hear that.
Michelle.
All right. Big shout out to Michelle, the converted Buckeye. God bless her. So, all right. As long as you have breath in your lungs, I have to apologize. My Rottweilers. Can you hear my dog going nuts?
I love it. That means that it's doing its job.
An intruder.
Yeah, somebody just went jogging by. So, hey, sorry about that, Eddie.
No worries.
All right. So, as we're talking about grit, we're talking about resiliency, met your wife, experience. Talk about like you've brought your superpowers, your expertise. First I want to talk about marketing. Okay. You're an influencer, you do announcing, you have a podcast, you have an incredible online presence. What attracted you to start a career in marketing? Then I want to slide in what attracted you to manufacturing. But let's start with, how did you bring your superpowers to marketing?
So my mom and my aunt love to tell a short story about when I was a kid, when you had to watch commercials, right? And so I'd be in my room playing with toys, And then all of a sudden, there would be a commercial that would come on, and I would drop everything I was doing, run to go watch the commercial. And then as soon as the commercials were over, I would go back and like run back to my room and play with my toys. And I did this like often. Right. And that's when I knew I was going to be in marketing. Right. As soon as they solidified that. So, but with it, it's something I've always been fascinated about. It's just the interaction with other human beings, because if you want to reduce marketing to a couple of concepts, one of them is just allowing and facilitating other individuals to make conscious decisions and to make specific choices, think, feel certain ways. And it just always really fascinated with me, because the core of that is I really am just in love with how humans operate, function, think, make decisions. That's really something that is the most fascinating to me. Yeah. And marketing is such a core part of that. And then another little mini joke that I make is, obviously going to college, I had to pick my degree, and marketing was the only degree in where I was going that had one accounting class in the entire curriculum. And I said, I hate accounting. I'll take that degree.
Nice.
But you better believe I took that accounting class one time.
That's right. Yeah. One accounting class, I'm all in. So that drove you. All right. So anyway, love the humility, love the humor. But again, as a little boy, just that consumer behavior, understanding those commercials. And I love that. I want to give a couple of shout outs. And we got Ross from Chicago in here. Great manufacturer. Right. Ross, you absolutely want to connect with Eddie. Man, you guys have a ton in common. Our dear friend, our beloved Diane. Happy Monday to you, Diane. Guys, we're here with Eddie Saunders Jr. You absolutely want to connect with Eddie on LinkedIn. So let's go here. And I love what you just said about that consumer behavior side. And Damon, we were on a program last year. I remember this came up. When you think about Detroit, Motown, Motor City, cars, built on the automobile. And when you think about it, what was Detroit truly built on? A lot of muscle, blue collar, building things. But you know what? They understood consumer behavior. They were absolutely brilliant. They were probably better marketers than Madison Avenue in New York. So I love what you said, how and as manufacturers, we don't always think that. I bend metal, I cut steel, I make a circuit board, I 3D print something. It doesn't always naturally come like, oh, I need to be a guerrilla marketer, right? So now you brought your superpowers, your passion, your expertise, you're an influencer. You've brought your skill set to manufacturing. What you could have picked any different industry. I know you're in a great state of Ohio where there's wonderful manufacturing. What attracted you to manufacturing?
I mean, my first big boy job, actually, I worked in the office of an aluminum castings foundry. Nice. And so that was a huge thing, being able to see literally, it made me realize how many things are casted just in general, and how many things just all around it, specifically vehicles. And so that was always really just interesting to me. But there were many times where I also, growing up like as a teenager, worked in my dad's factory, just small little odds and ends jobs, things like that. But it just helped me really learn about really how America is made. And you never understand it because you just order this, purchase that, and when you really take a look back and you get to see some of the components behind that specific curtain, it really is just interesting. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but also just how broad it may be. There are so many different segments of manufacturing that I never knew were really included within that conversation. And then also, it's just as much a cutting edge conversation as anything else because of all the robotics, the Industry 4.0, and all the other buzzwords. It's just, and it's huge. And then when you have something like the pandemic that greatly affects our ability to manufacture or puts our problems right in front of our faces, that just lets you know infinitely more how important this sector is to our infrastructure as a country. And so when it's of that high of a magnitude, and that's me realizing it now, but you just really embrace it and realize how important it is. And also, I'm on a mission to make it sexy again. Gonna be real with you. I'm trying to make manufacturing sexy again. I'm trying to get rid of the dull, dirty, dingy, dark, all that other stuff, break all the stigmas, bring a little bit of life, reality, and a little bit of realism, but some optimism to the game. And I think that is contagious, and that's what I'm here to do.
And you know what? And you absolutely bring a contagious enthusiasm. Your positivity is off the charts. Let's take, you know what? We have to take a deeper dive there, Eddie. Let's, bring in, as a matter of fact, Damon, if you remember, we had another great Buckeye. We had Janelle from the MEP, Manufacturing Extension Partnership in Cleveland from Magnet. She was on the program, and the title of her program, bringing sexy back to manufacturing. Yep. Eddie, let's go there, man. I'm going a little bit off script. I didn't have this on the agenda today.
That's all right.
Talk to folks, out there like, man, Eddie, dude, you had me at sexy. What are some things that manufacturers out there, what can they do to bring sexy back to manufacturing?
Dude, everybody's worried about throwing features and benefits out there, like with your companies, but like I don't think people should be afraid to just tell stories, to entertain. Like, what happened to entertaining people? When did that become uncool? In all reality. And I understand from a content production standpoint, we've only got certain platforms and tools at our disposal, but Flex is a great example of how you can still create engaging and educational content. But don't forget that 30, and that's entertainment, man. And if we're just boring people to death, what are we really doing? I think that there's ROI, which is great when it comes to getting your features and benefits. What about the ROE? And that's the return on effort. And I feel like from a marketing individual and from an analytical approach, even if I'm looking at my bandwidth and my time, I'd rather spend my resources on more effective and entertaining activities, because people ultimately never forget how you make them feel. You may forget that my A32 has a 400 RPM motor built in as a standard, but you'll never forget about that one funny video where I dressed up like an Easter bunny for, what little things like that. And I think if people focus more on just telling good stories and helping one another tell these stories, it'll become a multiplier effect of just the goodwill that can be done and also is being done. Because there's a lot of really cool things happening in manufacturing. And that's another reason why I have my show, not to sell my products, not even necessarily to entertain as much as it is to inform in a solid platform in a new cutting edge way. So plenty of ways to do it. First step is just wanting to in the first place.
Yeah. And of course, it doesn't hurt to entertain a little bit. And right here, our dear friend Nicole Donnelly from Donnelly Marketing Group says, you're doing a great job, Eddie Saunders. You guys need to connect. And hey, let's go back to the accounting conversation here. Our dear friend Whitney says, hey, that was my least favorite course in all my years of schooling. And our dear friend Diane, she counters and says, accounting degree professionals are the nicest people, said by the accountant in the chat. Diane, you are the sweetest thing on earth. So, and then, hey, I want to give a shout out to our dear friend, Gary. Hey, Gary, happy Monday to you, my friend. Eager to connect with you here soon. So, all right, Eddie, let's take it another step further. So let's say there's tons of manufacturers out there and they're a little light, little lean on the marketing side. They're tired of that word content. They're like, oh my God, if I hear content one more time, you make it look so easy. You make it look fun. You look at entertaining, engaging. What's your secret, dude? Somebody out there wants that silver bullet. How do you help small manufacturers make it more palatable?
Two things: the buddy branding system and fractal content. So what I mean by the buddy branding system, and I'll talk more about this in some upcoming events, and it's something I've spoken on various amounts of times, is finding synergistic collaborative partners. And that just pretty much means people who will make content with you. There are a lot of other individuals who are just like you, who are small, have a 1, maybe 2-person marketing team. Yeah. They don't want to hear the word content again, which one you should honestly, I'm saying this to anybody who does feel that way, you got to get over it. You got to get over it. It's like being an athlete or being a basketball player and you hate the word free throws. You got to throw or practice your free throws. You have to. Just like for marketing. If you hate the word content, call it whatever you want, but you still need to be aware of it and know how to create it. So aside from that, one way to make it easier is find your buddies. Find either products or softwares that are very synergistic with yours, that a story can be told. And really that's been a big key to Flex's success. So we don't have to rely so much on ourselves. We can buddy up with others, because not only is it nice to create the content that way, but it's also a great way to extend your reach. So you're almost doubling your outcome without having to double your effort. And I would argue it cuts it in half. And then also from that point, the second one is fractal content. So what I mean by that is just like you have a porcelain teacup, if you will. Drop that bad boy on the ground, it's going to break into a million different pieces. It's still a part of that cup, if you will. Yep. So for lack of a better analogy, anytime that you're creating any type of any video, whatever it may be, if you're not thinking about 3 to 5 ways that you can recycle that content, you're trying to hard. And if you have a 1 to 2-person marketing team, you're probably being spread too thin anyway. So find your friends, they will help you. And also try to maximize your stuff, because repurposing content and fractal content is not a dirty concept at all.
Man, I absolutely love that. And hey, our dear friend, we got a couple good comments coming. You guys keep your comments coming, questions, content is king. But then she comes back and says, yeah, but community is kinger, you know, and I'd say, hey, maybe it's queen, right? It's queen's always above the king. And then we've got Rebecca dropping a great, I'm loving the new trend toward non-traditional scheduling in manufacturing. Having hours that allow employees to also manage young families is an amazing benefit and attraction. Rebecca, thank you. Damon, she's coming up on the program next month. Rebecca, can't wait for you to join us. So Eddie, you piqued my curiosity on the buddy system. Maybe I'm a metal bender, CNC shop, whatever I might be doing. Let's take how about, can you give us some examples of like, what would be a good hardcore buddy system that's going to help me move the needle?
You think about the tools that you use, think about the machines that you utilize as well. There are a lot of these individuals, especially if you're a customer of them, because that's kind of a caveat. Okay, I'm a machine shop or I'm like a manufacturer myself. How do I do this? I mean, if you're trying to show your capabilities, just think about the tools that you have. I mean, if you're using a specific line of tools, what's to stop you from reaching out to them and wanting to do some type of video collaboration on them? They may feature you in their next case study or success story. And a lot of times they're looking for that anyway. At Flex, anybody watching, hey, I'm looking to feature your business, and we do it multiple times a year, and they are they're high quality productions. I love doing it. I wish more people come beat down my door to do it. And it goes back to my original point. You have to want to in the first place. And what's the worst thing you're going to be told if you go out to reach out to a buddy per se? I know one of my roadblocks is, they have to be willing to in the first place. If they're not willing to, that's completely okay. But instead of just kind of talking more about what you can do, how you can do it, I've seen small to medium-sized manufacturers also showcase their equipment in collaboration with the equipment providers, because you're also utilizing their network. When we say community is kinger, which I love it, I'm going to use that and probably look silly in a lot of situations, but I'm using it. If community is that, think about it. If I have my pack of friends and you have your pack of friends, and we somehow figure a way just to be cool with one another, think about, for lack of a visual, if you will, think about that like combination of communities and ways that we can direct our message. It only magnifies the messaging. So I really don't understand why anybody would be opposed to it, and by any means.
Right. All right. So let's unpack, repack, whatever you want to do right there. That is so critical. So again, small manufacturer, limited resources, maybe a one-person marketing team, or even more challenging, I'm the owner and I'm doing HR 1 minute, finance the next minute, operations. Oh, by the way, I need to do a little bit of marketing. What you're not adding more to their plate, Eddie, what you're doing is you're trying to make their life easier, more efficient, more effective. The buddy system, I think that's absolutely brilliant. Love it. And what you're talking about is align with either vendors, align with other subject matter experts, align with, I always like using an example. If you're manufacturing lamps, right? There's a lamp right here. Who's the lampshade person, right? Align with the light bulb guy. Align with the person that makes, what are the end table? Align with the other folks that are going to collaborate with you. Now, you do an amazing job, Eddie, of building your community. And I'm going to take a deep dive into videos in a second. Okay. But talk about when did you turn the trigger on for LinkedIn, and when did you decide I'm going to quadruple down, really like build my community? You align with a bunch of other, Joe Sullivan, a lot of folks that were, been on our show, your show that we collaborate with, Chris Lukey. Talk like when did you have the light switch of like, I'm quadrupling down on this LinkedIn community for manufacturing?
Yeah, it was about 2.5 years ago in all reality. Because before I got into marketing, I was actually in sales for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about that obsession not obsession, that's probably a wrong word, but fascination for human reactions and understandings, like 10 plus years of so many sales conversations and interactions did that. But I've read like 40 plus books on human psychology, sales, just a lot of those ideas. And so knowing that, and I've dabbled a little bit on the Instagram world as well. I took Gary Vaynerchuk's stair step method, and actually I leveraged my Instagram, which is nothing, mind you, but to get free product. I'd start off getting like smaller discounts, this and that. And once I realized that it was scalable from a human level, I thought, okay, I've practiced on how to do a brand correctly, incorrectly for all these years. I wanted to really double down because I also thought there was a little bit of a low barrier to entry. I'm just going to be honest. That's no offense to the industry, but there's nothing really exciting. There were a few exciting individuals, but if you think about it, there are content creators in every single industry, every single one. And they're all of their varying different degrees.
Right.
And so I thought to myself, there is a lot of cool things happening in manufacturing. Nobody's doing a great job of talking about it because everyone's too busy talking about themselves. And so I thought that I could check a lot of things off the list from doing so. And then also recognizing that social media platforms were greatly shifting to genuflecting on creators themselves. Yeah. And so a lot of what I do gets a lot more feedback in raw data than a lot of what Flex's primary socials are. And that's just a testament to how much these platforms are looking for creators after the craze of TikTok. So it's all part of a bigger strategy. In all reality, I very much understand I'm synonymous with Flex and, vice versa. And so it's all really just a big part of the strategy. In all reality, and getting the personal brand and having all that, like, it's honestly just icing on the cake and it's a cherry on top. I make friends easier. Cool.
Well, so a couple more comments here. And again, as we're coming to the top of the hour, if anybody has to jump off at their next call, please connect with Eddie here. You'll thank us later. Thank us now, right? Instead of later. And she, Nicole, my dear friend, Nicole Donnelly, we have, Whitney drops rising tide, lifts all boats.
Yes.
Rebecca, thank you. Damon, we're getting a little love from Rebecca about building community with our LinkedIn Lives. Thank you so much. And Eddie, you are, 2.5 years ago, you said, jumped on LinkedIn, but you're so intentional, man. Like, even right now, you got the hat, the shirt, the flex. I mean, like, it just fits your personality. So I want to talk about your company now. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Flex Machine. I believe founded 1971, been around for a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple, 2 or 3, right?
Yep.
Actually a little older than your company, but it goes back a ways. How on earth did you find a company that was such a perfect fit for you and your personality? Is it, describe the culture at Flex and describe, like, what was the market initiative and how did you two how did this marriage come together?
Yeah. So oddly enough, I'm actually an MC, like a professional, like announcer for sports combat. And so with that being one of my big side gigs, a big event that was held here at Flex when they built their new facility about 3 years ago. And so I really didn't even have a major interview process. I came in for one conversation because I was actually prospecting Flex in my previous role. And so that was, I guess, how the intro, and I had known probably 4 or 5 people that worked there internally. So it was kind of, we all knew everybody, this and that. And they actually needed a sales role, believe it or not. So I started off at Flex in the sales world, managing everything in the Western US. But I continued to, with my marketing degree and background, because a lot of my sales experience was specifically in marketing and advertising platforms and stuff. And I was a consultant as well. As my very first side gig, I was a marketing consultant. So that was really cool. So I brought a lot to the table. I just didn't talk about my marketing chops as much because it was more for my own benefit. And I kept giving some advice here. And we've got really young-ish leadership here. Average age here at Flex is about 35, 36 years old.
Nice.
And so it's nice. It brings some challenges, but not as many as what people would think. Just because we have less individuals in here, with gray hair, which there's nothing against gray hair. I'm actually excited for some salt and pepper to come through. But that being said, we don't really get any flack for it because we bring a new perspective, and we're a growth company in all reality. Flex is a growth company disguised as a manufacturer. And so when you have that as your mindset, like, you have to bring in younger, more flexible, more aggressive individuals who are less set in their ways. Right. And so with me, I'm an entertainer at heart. I know that for a fact. It's what I do. I have an education degree and lots of great background in marketing. But I am an entertainer in every way, shape, and form, whether it's entertaining my children and being the biggest weirdo on the planet, or entertaining 700 plus people at these big events. And so Flex really wanted to leverage that. So we actually, during the pandemic, started doing a live video series. And because of my theater background, because I've actually written plays that have been performed and produced, and I've acted in a variety of productions, they leveraged that hardcore. And once they saw, okay, this guy does stuff in front of a camera and he knows how to write it and he knows how to just manage his stuff. I said, give me a microphone, give me a laptop, and let's go. And a lot in between there, but now I can say, here we are.
Dude, you're
that's like awesome,
man. Like, this is, writes plays. Your song is on your profile. You've got singer songwriter. Is that your plays? And dude, are you going to sing a song for us by any chance?
Oh, good. You know what? No, I don't sing for free anymore, yo.
Hey, you think Venmo?
I gotta use that one. That's what I gotta use that one.
That's my go-to, bro. That's my go-to.
That's a good one. I'm gonna write.
If you take Venmo, I'll send you. All right. So anyway, let's talk more about Flex. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen for a second. I'm going to show everybody something real quick here.
For sure.
So you were talking about videos, and we're talking about Flex, and so people are like, "Man, you've piqued my curiosity." Can you guys see?
Yes, we can.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, Eddie, if you don't mind, I want to show this video.
Do it.
I know it's a. Let's go here. You guys can see this.
Yeah,
do it.
We're not your typical manufacturing company. Some call us different, unique, modern, and even ambitious. And honestly, they're all right. At our core, we're a growth company disguised as a manufacturing facility. Though some of our products have been around for decades, we're always innovating, testing, collaborating, and challenging ourselves to not only be pioneers of machine tool automation solutions, but also good humans. We're a team that drives and fuels our unique culture. And by culture, I don't mean leather couches by the fireplace, ping pong breaks, a beautiful pond, employee gym, a spirit week, and company merch. We're a blessed team of passionate thinkers, dreamers, and doers. Though we all bring our diverse backgrounds and perspectives, we're committed to breaking the mold and disrupting the status quo. Our humble roots begin in 1971 when Richard Kennedy started his small Wapakoneta, Ohio-based machine shop, fulfilling government contract work. Then the FLEXARM was born. Now, 50 plus years and millions of innovation hours later, Flex Machine Tools provides so much more than the world's best tapping arms. We're proud to be an industry all-star with our Flex ergonomic arms, Flex CNC and Flex beam machining centers, and our FlexJet water jet machines. Though we provide various machine tool solutions, we have one singular commitment: exceed customer expectations. Because when a business focuses on bringing value to the customer, how can you lose? It's no accident or secret that we have some of the top talent in the industry, and it shows through everything we do here at Flex. Innovation isn't easy, and being a growing force in the industry doesn't happen overnight. But we couldn't be more proud of our team, our growth, and our commitment to our over 20,000 customers worldwide. We are Flex Machine Tools.
Oh, man.
Whew. What on earth? Like, dude, you're a manufacturer. You're not supposed to have like killer videos like that. And Damon, did you love the, we don't have the leather couches and the ping pong table and the
dude, I love that part.
Did you talk about that? Talk about, again, I want to take it deeper. I love the culture. I love, everybody loves what you're doing. They want a little bit more. They want a piece of Eddie here. Just talk about like that video and how that just represents the company. I'll stop there because I could ask you like 5 more questions all in one, but just talk about the video and like the culture and just how that resonates with what's going on at Flex.
Yeah, man. And sorry for a second. I just got just a little teary eyed, just a little choked up. Cause it's just, this really is a beautiful company. It really is. And everyone says that their people are like family. And I know it sounds super cliche, but gosh, like we really have rallied together. COVID brought us so close, and we really do have a phenomenal culture. And it's one of those where our superpower here at Flex is when we bring you to our facility. It really is our people. We brag about our company so much, and it's not because we're just drinking the Kool-Aid, right? We're all in our mid-30s for the most part, obviously others, in other ages, but it's just like we've worked other places before, and there's a reason why when people do leave here, and it's a rarity, they always want to come back. It's because it's always an adventure. I will say working for Flex is not for everybody because it is very fast-paced, and like I said in the video, like it is a growth company disguised as a manufacturing facility. And that's not everybody's cup of tea, but we find some A players here and some amazing human beings. And it's just incredible. I could go on all day about how much like I genuinely admire, respect, and just have a deep sense of friendship. And I love some of these people. I really do, because they're just great humans, and the product is awesome. Like that's cool and all. But when people come here, it's very unanimous. They say a lot of the very same things, like the people you have here. Oh my gosh, like the facility is great, but the people we have is our greatest asset here. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said too, it's industry standard stuff. You guys, the FLEXARM has been something. I don't know how many factories I've been in or managed that use them like crazy, day in, day out, gazillion repeat,
Oh yeah.
And then and these are the videos you guys do around the products are real world kind of stuff, and then fun. I mean, because like you said, as you're coming in this, I don't really care that the envelope of my CNC machine is blah, 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 blah. I want to see it do some stuff, right?
Yep.
Have some fun and really, really watch what you can do and watch and envision myself benefiting from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good
For
stuff.
sure. We think with you in mind. And one thing that I had to really break here, like a wild horse at Flex, was using the I speak. And I'm not talking about your physical I, talk about the letter I. So many people in manufacturing, they use the keywords they think they want to use. They have the conversations that think best suit them. And I came in here and swung my stick around and said, stop it, stop it, stop it. Let's talk how they want to talk. Let's show them what they actually want. And, it's funny. You want to, we should put some entertaining content out there that people liked. Oh, it's like people want entertained. It's crazy.
Right. Oh my God. All right. So let's go further. So the topic today, how to create killer content. And maybe we've covered a lot of space here so far, Eddie. So again, we're speaking to, let's talk to the Flex years ago, somebody that wishes, you guys, what I love is when you have the leadership is bought in. Okay. And obviously your leadership is just all in. The culture, the way that Damon, you getting chills today or what, man? I mean, like the way for you to talk about, you talk about this, the way you talk about, your family, Eddie Sr. and Michelle, I love these people. They're family. You're right at home. You're wearing their swag. It's, how do you create that culture of enthusiasm? And then I want to slide into, let's get more tactical on content, but let's take it another step further. I just can't let it go of that culture that you guys have created at Flex. And then let's dive into the content.
Dude, at the end of the day, I boil it down to empathy. Honestly, that is one of the greatest superpowers known to mankind or womankind, humankind, whatever. Right. Empathy really is a superpower. And that's one thing here at Flex that we have in abundance. And it doesn't matter if it's your coworker, your enemy, your spouse, your child, your teammate, it doesn't matter. Showing empathy is always well received. And it's not sympathizing. People mix sympathy with empathy. And it's okay, I can understand your feelings. Empathy is I insert myself into your feelings. And how that relates to what we're doing at Flex is we all understand we each have our specific jobs to be done. I'm not worried about shipping times because I'm in marketing. Don't care as much about it, right? And vice versa. Shipping doesn't care about my marketing message as much, right? Typically. But we not only feature a lot of our employees, but there's so much collaboration that goes in between these walls. We break down the silos. We break down the walls. Our campus is all wide open. There are very few offices in this building, and the tops of them are completely open, and the fronts of them are completely glass. And we have an open door policy. And it all goes back to empathy. And so regardless of what type of company, what type of industry that you are in, I feel if you show others, especially your workforce, your employees, your team, that they are important, you give them the tools and you get out of their way, they will make you a priority. They really will. And it sounds cliche, but cliche to me is time tested. So I'll say it again and I beat it to death. Showing empathy in any levels will help you accomplish anything, whether it's buy-in to your company's brand or whatever it may be. Just showing that empathy towards other human beings, understanding their situation and being a good human, that beats beanbag chairs and beer in the fridge and things like that. That will create culture all day. Everything else is just icing and cherries on top.
Absolutely. Nicole Donnelly. Yes, my favorite word. And of course, Gary loved the video. And hey, by the way, Nicole wants to know, you're still, we need to get a collection going to get you to sing or what?
Show tunes. Oh my gosh. You're going to take my theater background. And
no.
Oh man.
That's classic. Yeah, Nicole's big on theater. So, all right, Eddie. So we're talking culture, slide into, and again, I want to be mindful of your time as we're starting to wind down a little bit.
Absolutely.
Some other content strategies for folks. I know like you've got you've got a couple of shows coming up this week. Big one on Thursday, big one in Chicago. I think probably half of LinkedIn is in Chicago this week.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about, let's go into like a little bit of another content strategy. How do we tie in empathy? I've limited resources. I'm a one-man band marketer, one woman band. Share some other tactics that other folks could take advantage of today.
Dude, talk to your customers. Straight up, talk to your customers. One, they're already converted. Easy conversation. Hey, Mr. Customer, we already do business together. Can we have a conversation? Oh, funny, we're already having one. So that's a big thing, because you can learn so much. And I feel like too many people, and I was in sales for 10 years. I'm all about let's get that signature on to the next one. If you're a salesperson and you don't feel that's because you're lying to yourself. But that doesn't mean you still can't be a good person, care about them, yada, yada. But if you don't hit your number, it's a whole different situation. Right. I digress. But that being said, I would highly recommend, in addition to what we've talked to your customers, learn why they bought, why they were hesitant, what they love the most about what it is that you're doing. And I always create content. Again, like what did I say earlier? Too many people use the I marketing when they're not speaking their customers' language. And it's a huge mistake that so many people are making, especially on an SEO perspective. Don't get me started there. Right. But that would be the biggest thing, because they are already warm conversations. And what's the worst that's going to happen? You find out how you can get better. That's a small price to pay. But the greatest thing that can come from that, especially in our experience, what I've learned, the 12 plus years I've been doing this, is they'll tell you things that they love that you didn't even know were available for your product or service,
or that
they'll tell you things that matter, because we sit here think, oh, we need to buy all the tapping SEO keywords we can when people aren't even using that word, just for lack of a better example. And it just goes back to that. Your customers will tell you how your prospects make decisions.
I love it. So Damon, we use the word ZARF, right? Remember our little ZARF?
The ZARF.
So if the name of the product that goes around a coffee cup that prevents your fingers from being burnt, that little cardboard piece is called a ZARF.
Nice.
Who on earth is going to Google ZARF? They're Googling, please, I don't want to burn my fingers today on this hot cup of coffee, right? Mm-hmm. So exactly to Eddie's point is like, put yourself in your ideal buyer's shoes. Try to speak their language. If you're not sure what language they speak, just ask.
We both speak English. Just ask.
It's just ask. It's that simple. So, all right. Hey, let's see. Diane says, being a good human. Nicole wants to hear some Music Man. So we might have to talk a little Music Man. And Nicole says, hey, I'm looking forward to meeting you on Thursday. And Eddie, guess what, brother? I'm going to meet you in person in Cleveland. How's that one?
Now it's a party.
I'm coming to the show just because you're speaking, brother. So Nicole,
there you go.
I'm going. Jeff Long's going. I know, like Joe Sullivan's going to be there. Wendy Covey, who was just on the program, Damon, she was on last month. She's a keynote speaker. So Eddie, what can we expect from you? If you're not going to Cleveland, please have FOMO, because you got to hear Eddie speak live in Cleveland on Thursday, September 15th. Eddie, what are we talking about on Thursday?
We're going to really dive into influencers in manufacturing, because as much as I regret telling everybody about it and blowing the lid off of it because it's worked so well for Flex, as we said earlier, one of my favorite quotes is a rising tide lifts all ships. And I'm opening up the playbook. I'm sick and tired of everybody hiding their cards. I want manufacturing to win. And if I'm doing weird stuff that's working, I want you to do weird stuff that works for you. And a weird thing that is absolutely working objectively and subjectively is influencers within manufacturing. And I've got some gangster case studies on how we specifically accrued over 1.6 million video content views in under 2 years with one single influencer.
Nice.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm an old man. I can't hear that well. What was that number again? Could you please repeat that?
1.6 million.
Dude. All right. And guess what? We're not going to tell you because you got to come to Cleveland to get the details.
There you go.
We're going to talk about it. I promise. I'll feed you. All
right. Well, man, I can't wait to meet you. Now, remember, I'm an old guy, so don't be putting me in any MMA moves because I'll break like a pretzel. So
I'm a way better hugger. That's what I tell everybody. I've been in one street fight in my entire life. I am a way better hugger.
Oh,
I can still
dude,
do
I
that.
can't. Yeah, I'll hug it up with you, and I might even try to twist your arm to get you to sing that song. But all right, are you going to be in Chicago this week by any chance?
I will be going to IMTS. To my surprise, I'll be there for a 1-day event. I'll be running around the entire facility, interviewing some of my best friends, getting some photos and some flexies, if you will. So, but only be there on Wednesday. I fly in that morning, fly out that evening, so I can make it to Cleveland on Thursday. But I'll be there making noise, loud and proud, flying my Flex flag.
Awesome.
There we
all
go.
Right. Well, speaking of flag, let's wind things down. So, guys, all right, again, let's recap. You have to connect with Eddie. If, like, my goodness gracious, if you're not motivated today, please call the priest, call the doctor, call somebody, man, because like Eddie just puts you on fire. You get to see Eddie live in Chicago. So anybody that's at the show in Chicago this week, stop by Eddie's booth. Eddie, I think I wrote your booth number down. Was it ABOM 79? Do I have that right?
That's what A-Bomb 79 is actually the influencer who we're going to have specifically at our booth.
Influencer.
Yes, A-Bomb is one of the biggest influencers manufacturing. He will be at our booth on Wednesday for all the pictures, selfies, and videos that you could get your hands on. So yes.
And where's that? Where's the reveal party going to show on LinkedIn? Will we see that on LinkedIn?
The reveal for what? Just him being there?
Yeah.
Oh no, we've already announced it. We've already announced it.
Okay.
Yes, he will. We want to give everybody a heads up, not to surprise anybody, because we know that a lot of people wanted to know where he was going to be, and so we let everybody know loud and clear. He's going to be flexing with us on Wednesday. He'll be flexing with
you. Okay, on Wednesday, catching you at the Industrial Marketing Summit. And, just if you Google Industrial Marketing Summit, hopefully I put it in the chat box earlier, but you want to connect with Eddie. I tagged it, so you can click that. If you are interested, sign up for that show. It's a great program. Amazing speakers coming up on Thursday. Eddie, as we take things down, let's take it home, brother. Are you ready? Let's take it home. Okay. Maybe we might have talked about Eddie George one more time. As a matter of fact, I've been trying to get on the program, Damon, is I've been trying, who I connected with on LinkedIn? Maurice Claret. I connected with Maurice Claret.
Whoa.
And so I don't know, Eddie, if I can convince Maurice Claret to join us, or any one of our other wonderful Buckeyes, you'll be the first to know, brother. I will let you know. So, okay. As we wind down, you're a great family man, father, husband, Addie and Michelle's proud son here. Who is your inspiration moving forward?
Man, I tell you what, like this is going to sound cliche, but my kids inspire me so much.
Names?
Because there are no human beings on this planet that challenge me more. To think in ways that I have not thought in obviously many years. And I know it's and it sounds crazy because you're probably thinking like, who's a big thought leader? Who's a celebrity? Who's a big actress? No, my kids inspire me so much, especially my little boys, because they're just pure little boys. They remind me to always be curious, always be adventurous. And then I got my 2 little girls who just challenge me to make sure that I'm staying proper. And as much as I want to be just a guy sometimes, they give me texture. A girl made me a father first. And so that changed my life, and I will never forget that. So my biggest motivator, people who inspire me, are seriously my 4 children. And I have some amazing, blessed children, 2 boys, 2 girls, and they drive me, they intrigue me, they challenge me, and they're just my biggest supporters as well.
Awesome.
Dude, I tell you, you are a blessing. Names and ages of the 4 young ones. Let's hear them.
This is where I get people. So Layla is 10, Michaela is 8, Sammy is 5, and Salem is 1. So Layla, Michaela, Sammy, and Salem.
Whoa. You are a busy man.
Busy man.
You are a busy man. That is awesome.
Especially in fall sports season. So it's a big thing. But that's what they challenge me. They
challenge me. And 4 future Buckeyes right there. So, all right, let's do this, Eddie. Dude, thank you. Thank you for your passion, your expertise, your energy, your flexing, being the mascot of manufacturing. Dude, man, please don't take your foot off the pedal. There's a big renaissance in manufacturing. You're leading the charge. There's a whole pack, Andrew Crow, Chris Lukey, everybody is just an amazing job here on LinkedIn. Just really shining a bright light on manufacturing. And you, my friend, are just doing an awesome, awesome job. guys, you want to connect with Eddie on LinkedIn. You want to check if you're like, man, I'm a manufacturer. I need to step up my marketing game. Go to Flex Machine Tools. Obviously, if you need machine tools, you want to go to Flex. But if you're looking for some great marketing tips, you want to check out some videos, you want to check out their YouTube channel, subscribe to their channel, check out Eddie's interviews. He is an amazing, we flipped the script on him today. He is an incredible host, but boy, what a wonderful guest. Eddie, God bless you, my friend. This has just been such, I'm like getting chills just even being in your presence. Any last parting words that you want to share with folks today?
Be a good human.
Be a good human.
There you go.
That's it. That's it.
Drop the mic. Just Damon.
I would drop this if it wasn't suspended. I would drop it.
Savor it.
Hey, it's lunchtime. Let's just savor. Let's just savor Eddie's wisdom,
just
his energy, his passion, his enthusiasm. All right, guys, we're gonna wind down. Catch Eddie live in Cleveland this Thursday. Follow him on LinkedIn. Eddie, God bless you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish everybody an amazing, incredible week. You know what? Yesterday was 9/11. What an amazing day to be an American. God bless every single one of you out there. Just if you need more energy, if you're having a down day, please come back to this video, replay it, and you will be on fire. So, all right, guys. Damon, we'll see everybody on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
12:32 Eastern, 9:32 Pacific. We have a great guest, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Hang out, Eddie. 1 second.